This video is made possible by Zing Cases. Visit zingcases.com for a whole range of cases and accessories for your smartphone.
What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the camera quality of the Samsung Galaxy S5 to the iPhone 5S. I'll be looking at both the front and rear facing cameras and at images as well as video too. Do also look out for the audio icon in the corner of the screen, and that will indicate to you which device the audio is coming from, and I'll be switching between these two to give you guys an idea of the differences in audio too. So we're currently indoors and we've got plenty of light, and we're using the front facing cameras on both devices. One thing to note straight away is that the Samsung Galaxy S5 films at 1080p from the front facing camera, whereas the iPhone 5S films at 720p from the front facing camera. So you may notice a difference straight away. But anyway, do hit that thumbs up button and let's head outside and give the rear facing cameras a test too. We're now filming with the rear facing cameras outdoors, and let's just look at some close-ups here of some of these flowers just to give you a variation of shots. And this is the sort of quality difference that you can expect with filming at 1080p on both devices. We are filming with the rear facing cameras on both devices, and we are filming at 1080p from both rear facing cameras, but the Samsung Galaxy S5 is capable of filming at full 4K, so we'll switch to 4K in a second. Now we have switched to full 4K on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now although this video is exported out at 1080p, the advantage we have is that we can crop in to the 4K footage on the Samsung Galaxy S5 if we need to, and we can get that much more detail, and then we can always scale it down as well, and we'll have that much more of a sharper picture. So now we're indoors with the Samsung Galaxy S5 in relatively low light, and we're just testing out the rear facing camera and how well it autofocuses when we move from one subject to another, and it seems to be doing a pretty good job. We can always touch to focus as well if we need. Now switching to the iPhone 5S in the exact same lighting, and we're once again just testing out the autofocus to move from one subject to another. We can also touch to focus as well, and this is the sort of quality difference that you can expect in video in low light. Now this one is for any fanboys who are going to complain and say that I didn't shoot it in the same lighting conditions in video. So here we are in the same lighting side by side, so you can see what the difference is in terms of video in low light. So that was the video. Now let's have a look at some images. So we're going to do this in the new style, which is that I'm not going to reveal which device each image has come from straight away. I'm going to do that a little bit later, so that way you can decide which image you like better without any bias of your preferred brand, and this way it's a lot more fair. So we're going to start off with some selfies from the front facing cameras. I think both are doing a good job here. The right hand side is sharper, which I like. However, I like the colors on the left hand side image, so I'm going to call this one a draw. I think both are doing a decent job. The one on the right hand side is a bit more yellowy, which I don't like. I like the colors, and the tones are a little bit more neutral on the left hand side, but the right hand side image is sharper. The right hand side image is of the iPhone 5S and the left hand side image is of the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now moving on to an outdoor image in good light. So we did a close-up here of some flowers, and we can see that both are doing a very good job. I like the details on both images. The colors are a little bit more vibrant on the right hand side. On the left hand side they're a little bit more natural. Now this will come down to personal preference. And to do the reveal, we've got the iPhone 5S on the left hand side and we've got the Galaxy S5 on the right hand side. Now the one thing you do have to know is that the Samsung Galaxy S5 has a 16 megapixel rear facing camera, whereas the iPhone 5S has an 8 megapixel rear facing camera. So if we do go in 100%, you'll notice that we can crop in much further to the image on the Samsung Galaxy S5. So that is an advantage you've got here. But once again, both images are looking great. Now to an outdoor wide shot. I think both are doing very well here. You can see lots of detail in the clouds as well on both images. I'd say the one on the left hand side is a little bit more vibrant, has a little bit more contrast. Once again, this is going to come down to personal preference, and that probably gave it away. That is the Samsung Galaxy S5, and on the right hand side we have the iPhone 5S. Now you'll notice a bit of a trend here where the images from the Samsung Galaxy S5 have a tad more saturation, a little bit more vibrant compared to the ones on the iPhone 5S. Now this is something that we see a trend on many Samsung Galaxy devices, and it comes down to personal preference.
Now moving on to an indoor image in good light, my preference is the one on the left hand side. I like the contrast on there. I think the colors are a little bit more natural, and this is the reason why I've used cans which you can recognize. These are brands that everyone knows, so you can see how accurate the colors are. I'd say the one on the right hand side is a little bit washed out, so I do like the image on the left hand side. The image on the left hand side is of the Samsung Galaxy S5. We've got the iPhone 5s on the right hand side, so I'd give the edge here to the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now moving on to an image in relatively low light, I think both are doing a good job here, and both are maintaining some decent color and some decent detail. I'd say that the image on the right hand side is a tad sharper compared to the image on the left hand side, and that is of the Samsung Galaxy S5. We've got the iPhone 5s on the left hand side. Now finally moving on to an image using the flash on both devices. I think both are doing a decent job considering we're using flash. I hate using the flash on any device, but I think both are doing a very decent job. I'd say the details are a little bit better on the left hand side. The colors are a little bit more neutral on the right hand side, a little bit more vibrant on the left hand side, and I think that gives it away once again. And the left hand side image is of the Samsung Galaxy S5, the right hand side image is of the iPhone 5s. So the dual LED flash on the iPhone 5s is helping to maintain those neutral tones, but the Samsung Galaxy S5 does have more detail. The image just looks sharper overall. So that one will come down to personal preference. So that was the camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S5 and the iPhone 5s. I think both are great, both do a very good job. In terms of the front-facing cameras, I'd call them even in terms of images. I think you had sharper images on the iPhone 5s, on the Samsung Galaxy S5. You had better colors, but it was slightly softer, so that's going to come down to personal preference. In terms of the video, I did like the video on the iPhone 5s from the front-facing camera a little bit better. I think the colors slightly washed out on the Samsung Galaxy S5 in video. It didn't do that in images, but on video it did do that a little bit. I'm not sure why. Now in terms of images from the rear-facing camera, I think both did a great job, but I would have to give the edge to the Samsung Galaxy S5. I think you had more details and the images were sharper. That might come down to the fact that you've got a higher resolution. Although they were a little bit on the vibrant side. Now this will come down to personal preference, but Samsung Galaxy images generally tend to be more on the vibrant side. Low light performance as well, I liked better on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now this is both in video and images. Especially in video, you could see that the image was much brighter on the Samsung Galaxy S5 compared to the iPhone 5s. In terms of audio, the edge would have to go again to the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now this does come down to the fact that it's got stereo sound, so you've got dual channels of audio compared to the mono sound on the iPhone 5s, which is a single channel of audio. So generally speaking, you had more depth to the sound on the Samsung Galaxy S5. It was louder as well, and although the iPhone 5s doesn't sound too bad in isolation, as soon as you put it next to something with stereo sound, you can immediately tell a difference. That's what I think anyway. What do you think? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you do want to see more images from many of the devices, then do go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. I am at SuperSafTV, and I post plenty of images from lots of different devices on there regularly, so do go ahead and check that out. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I've got plenty more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSafTV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below. Okay, if you're still watching, then that means you've not done one of those things, so, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna go downstairs. See. Okay. There isn't really a downstairs. Anyway, so yeah.